Some fragrance houses just get elegance, and Welton London is absolutely one of them. Hi, fragrance family. I'm Joe, your Dean of Scents, and today we're talking about three Welton London fragrances that I sampled thanks to ScentSplit.com. ScentSplit does an excellent job, and they sent me these samples recently, and I'm so excited to finally get to talk about these fragrances. So, who is Welton London? They are niche, refined, full of personality. Let's figure out which one of the three fragrances I sampled deserve a full bottle. So when I first picked up this package from ScentSplit, it came with ton of fragrances in here that they were so kind to send over to me to try. But when I started trying them, I was really trying to discern which of the fragrances really rose to the top for me and my likes. And it was quickly evident to me that of the ones that I sampled, the house that was probably the one that I enjoyed the most was Welton London. And these are three samples that I received that I really feel like just really rose above all the other ones. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about those today. But first, who is Welton London? Well, I did a little bit of research trying to understand more about this company and a little bit more about what they do. Welton London is based out of the United Kingdom, obviously. The name pretty much implies that. They have 23 different fragrances in Fragrantica right now that have been perfumed by multiple different collaborations with perfumers. But the one that really got the whole thing started was Jean Paul Welton. And Jean Paul, one of their main perfumers, actually spent a lot of time in the Middle East. And when he was in the Middle East, he really fell in love with what they do and in his trips about the local culture and how fragrance played such an important role in their lives. And so with that, guided by his passion for perfume and his work in the south of France, he wanted to start this house, and he did so. That's a little bit more about them and about their journey and kind of how Welton London came into existence. Let's talk about these scents I've got in front of me. So the first one that I went to that I thought was just a great fragrance was Lucky Charm. This popular perfume by Welton was released in 2022. It's a sweet oriental fragrance, and the longevity seems to be above average. So this fragrance starts out with cardamom, frankincense, and resin in the top. And it has heart notes of amber, musk, nutmeg, and tobacco. And in the base, it's got cedarwood, labdanum, and sandalwood. And the perfumer for this one was Julie Pletchett. And this one gets pretty good ratings overall for what it is. But it's really the sweet, just very pleasant fragrance is about the best I can say. It's really good. And one that, again, I've never smelled. And I've never smelled anything from the house. But for my first one, you really can't go wrong with this one. It has an 8.9 out of 10 ranking on Parfumo, which is a really darn good above average ranking and probably one of the best scents of the house. I just keep wanting to go back to it. If that tells you a little bit about how unique and just how wonderful that scent is, you keep wanting to go back to it. The second one I want to talk about in their line that I also really enjoyed, and one that's probably a little bit more well known, is their 2017 release of Iconic Amber Oud. And Iconic Amber Oud has, again, longevity that's above average, and it's a woody, spicy scent. And that woody spiciness comes across on the top. You've got that cardamom, that ginger, and that tobacco in the top, with some pink pepper, oud, and saffron in the heart, and that ambergris, black musk, sandalwood, and labdanum in the base notes. And this one, it just is another one that's unbelievable. 8.4 out of 10 ranking. And what you really pick up in this scent right away is that cardamom off the top. Pink pepper is probably the most prominent note in the middle, and that ambergris and that black musk in the base really makes this one shine. It is a wonderful scent, and one that sometimes gets compared to Oud for Happiness. I can see a little bit of that, in this, but this one definitely takes it to a much different level and is much more refined. And it's really just a beautiful evolution. Another one that some people say that this one kind of reminds them of a little bit is La Nuit de la Homme from YSL. But again, this one is just a little bit more mature and a little bit more stylish. They both have great DNAs, but this one is like CEO level. Just really wonderful. And the third one that I want to talk about from this line is Bois de Babylone from Welton. This is a spicy floral fragrance, and this one's probably rated the least of the three that I've covered today. It's a 7.6 out of 10 rating. Still a good rating for anyone that knows the Parfumo rating system. This one starts out with a violet leaf, a resin, and a fig tree in the top. Has freesia and frankincense in the heart, and cashmere, cedarwood, and suede in the base note. and again, mixed really, really well. There's something about this one that I keep going back to. It reminds me of something, and I'm sure you've had these fragrances before where you are reminded somehow of a scent that you've smelled before, but you can't quite place it. The violet leaf in this one is really just off the charts. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research and find out which other fragrance I have that I've loved in the past that really has that violet leaf that just jumps off when you spray it. This one has been related to a fragrance called Derby. It was a 1985 release. I've never smelled that fragrance, so I have no way to tell you how much it's similar or dissimilar, but it's pretty darn good. Again, another great fragrance. So this has been a quick review of these three samples. Again, we always talk about sampling before buying. Scent Split is excellent for that. They do a wonderful job. And I never in a million years would have probably ever got my nose on a Welton London had it not been for Scent Split. And now I have got this new appreciation for this brand that I didn't know anything about and that I never would have smelled any of their fragrances. And now I'm really considering looking into either a bigger sample to be able to wear a little bit longer, or to go ahead and pick up a full bottle. But again, like I've said it many times, you want to sample, and sometimes it's good if you start out with a smaller sample, then maybe you go to a 5 milliliter or 10 milliliter bottle, really wear it. Some people even say that, hey, that's gonna be my normal progression. I'm gonna start with a small one. If I like it, I'm gonna get a 5 milliliter or 10 milliliter, and once I use that, then I'll commit to a full bottle purchase. And that's the way that they can kind of plan out their full bottles to see what they're actually reaching for and what they're not reaching for. But Scent Split is the one that makes that happen. And again, can't thank them enough for their partnership and sending out these samples. It was really great to get through a house that I had never heard of and that I'd never done some research on, and it isn't really on the hype train here on this platform. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. If you've heard of Welton London, let me know down below. Am I just late to the party and just didn't know much about this fragrance? If so, let me know. And if this is the first time you've heard about it, check them out and see what you think. And go to scentsplit.com. Maybe check out some of these fragrances, one of these three, if you like the notes that you've heard me talk about. If you like this kind of content, please comment, like, and share. It really helps me out as I continue to try to grow my following here on TikTok. I'm Joe, your Dean of Scents. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.